Welcome to Slack. The main objectives of this tutorial are to appreciate why many people use Slack, join a workspace that organizes a specific group of people, use a channel to discuss a particular topic, organize messages using threads, receive notifications and send direct messages, format messages using Markdown, and work easier with native Slack.app. Why Slack? Slack is often compared to email. One problem people often encounter is an email inbox filled with long conversations about different topics. Moreover, there are often multiple conversations happening in parallel between different groups of people. Enter Slack, which attempts to organize these conversations by creating different channels for each topic that people can easily join and leave. As an example, imagine a scientist who would like to spread the word about a cool workshop happening next month. One option would be to send an email to the entire department mailing list. Unfortunately, people who are not interested in workshops would receive this email. While one off-topic email is okay, this problem begins to magnify as organizations get bigger. A second option would be to post a message in a Slack channel named Conference Workshops. Now, only people that join that channel would receive the message. Furthermore, people who are interested in that workshop can continue their conversation back and forth using this channel. Importantly, used properly, this chatter can be restricted to only people interested in that particular workshop. While Slack has the potential to solve many problems, it's not without its own issues. Unfortunately, it's yet one more inbox to monitor, generally not a great archive, and the numerous features take some experimentation to get right. Despite these issues, Slack excels in organizing conversations, providing real-time communications, and helping new members get up to speed quickly on past discussions. With this quick introduction out of the way, let's get a tour of some important Slack features. Join a workspace. Workspaces are the largest organizational unit in Slack. Anyone can create a workspace for free and begin inviting a group of people. After receiving an invitation and clicking on the link, you will see a page like this. Enter your email address and click Continue. Slack will send a confirmation address to that email address. Go to your email inbox and click on the Confirm Email button. You will then be presented with a form to create an account with a username and password. Note that each workspace is a distinct organizational unit, so you will have different username and passwords for each workspace you join. After creating an account, you will see a Welcome to Slack screen. A Get Started guide prompts you to explore the workspace and personalize your account. While we will touch on some of these topics in this tutorial, be sure to familiarize yourself with the features in this Get Started guide. Use channels. Now that you've joined a workspace, let's explore the left-hand panel. As we introduced earlier, channels organize conversations into topics. In most workspaces, General is the channel in which everyone is a member. Thus, you can think of posting messages in General as if you sent an email to the entire mailing list. To see what other channels exist in this workspace, click on the plus next to Channels. Then click on Browse Channels. You now have the option to create a new channel or join an existing channel. Let's take a peek inside the Bootcamp 2020 channel by clicking on the channel name. Note that channels are prefixed with a hash symbol. Your first peek into a channel is just a preview. To actually join the channel, click on Join Channel. Once inside a channel, it's often a good idea to click on the eye icon in the upper right to check for any important details. First among the details are pinned posts. Pinned posts are ideally messages that are useful enough to have quick access. Clicking on Pinned in this case reveals a link to Software Carpentry's Programming with Python lesson. Members is another useful detail. Here you can see who else is monitoring this channel and add people that you think might be interested. Note that the green circles next to each name indicate who is quote-unquote active on Slack, either on their computer or their phone. Use threads. Even within a channel, multiple conversations can get in the way of each other. Threads are an attempt to help organize this confusion. If you hover over an existing message, a pop-up menu bar will give an option to reply to the message in a thread. This will update the right sidebar with a thread interface. Type a message in here and hit enter to start a new thread. The main window will now show how many replies exist to the original message and comprise the thread. Receive notifications and direct messages. How do you know when a new message has been posted? How do you know when someone is trying to get your attention? The left-hand panel is one place to look. Note that right now most of the channels and options look similar. When a new message appears, the channel will be bolded. Furthermore, if someone is trying to get your attention, a number in a red circle will also appear. Click on that channel to see more. Shown here is a new message that is tagged with a specific user. Whereas channels are prefixed by the hash symbol, usernames are prefixed by the @ symbol. Thus, if you want to grab one or more people's attention, include each of their usernames prefixed by the @ symbol. One other way to send a message to a person or group of people is through direct messages. Click on the plus next to direct messages. You may have to scroll down the left-hand panel to see this section. Here you can start a direct messages conversation by adding the names of specific users. Note that while messages posted in channels can be seen by anyone in the workspace, direct messages can generally only be seen by the recipient. Format messages. Slack messages can be a short simple reply or a long message with specially formatted code and bullet points with bold and italics. This formatting can be inserted in one of two ways. The first is to click on the Show Formatting button at the bottom of the input box and then using the familiar bold, italics, etc. icons. The second is to use a markup language called Markdown. In the example shown here, a word can be bolded simply by surrounding the word with asterisks. Slack has several help articles that explain this in more detail. Regardless of which method you chose, aspiring programmers should familiarize themselves with code blocks. By surrounding text with 3 backticks, text will be displayed using a fixed-width font. This formatting is essential when trying to read both code and error messages. Work easier with native Slack.app. We end this tutorial with an overview of Slack, apps that are native to a given platform like macOS, Windows, iOS, and Android. While you can use Slack via a web browser, native apps provide a much friendlier experience. Navigate to slack.com/downloads and install the appropriate version. After installing a desktop version and starting the app, you will be prompted to sign into a Slack workspace. Enter the name of your workspace and click Continue. You should be prompted with a dialog box asking whether you would like to open Slack.app. Click on Open Slack.app. One advantage of the Slack.app is that you can use Slack without having to manage another browser window. However, the Slack.app becomes especially useful when you join your second workspace. To do so, click on the down arrow in the upper left-hand corner next to your current workspace name. Navigate to Add Workspaces and select Sign into another workspace. After successfully joining a second workspace, a third thin panel will appear on the left-hand side showing all the workspaces that you have signed into using the Slack.app. These icons allow you to quickly switch between workspaces, and white and red dots indicate when you have new messages and mentions. Finally, Slack for your phone provides a great convenience when you are waiting for a response. Notifications will appear like any other text messaging platform to which you can quickly read and respond if appropriate. In this tutorial, we discussed what problems Slack attempts to solve, overviewed the process of joining a workspace, explored details in each channel, saw how messages can be organized using threads, explained notifications and direct messages, formatted messages using Markdown, and encouraged you to use native Slack apps. Some possible next steps are to learn how to write good coding questions that are likely to get useful answers, sometimes referred to as minimal, reproducible examples, and practice a 10-minute Markdown tutorial. Thank you to all the people that helped.